Hey guys, this is your step up session. This is a real workhorse in your program, and we'll be using these 3 different metrics over the coming weeks to increase this session to help you achieve your ascent targets and to help you in these challenge weeks. Now, there's a couple of different calculations you have to do for this session. Don't worry, you don't have to be a mathematician. I'm going to step you through it now. In order for you to calculate how many step ups you need to do to achieve the ascent target. So let's say we have a 200 meter ascent target today, for example. And let's say you're using a 40 centimeter box here. So all we have to do is divide 200 by 40 centimeters, so 0.4 of a meter. So that means that we have to do 500 step ups to achieve that 200 meter ascent target. So what you need to do is just measure the step that you're going to choose to be stepping up on today and do that quick calculation and figure out how many step ups. The reason why we do this is because everybody's using different steps in the program. Everybody will be choosing to step up on different heights. It's totally up to you. If you want to do less step ups by using a higher step, that's totally fine. The thing is, in the mountains, the step is the same whether you're a short person or a tall person. So I'm not going to change the step up if you're shorter, because the reality is that the mountain doesn't get shorter if you're shorter. So we have to do these little calculations to help everybody achieve the same height regardless of how tall they are and how high they're stepping up. So without further ado, let's get into the step session. So you've got your backpack with the designated weight for this session. You've got your box or bench to step up on, and you know how many that you have to achieve. So all that's left to do now is to step up onto the box. But there's one little tip that I'll give you. If you can get a hold of a crowd clicker, they are so useful and they're really cheap, and they can help you to count the steps that you're doing so you don't forget, because the last thing you want to do is do 500 step ups when you think you've only done 400, you know what I mean? So it could be really handy to spend the $5 or whatever it is to get a hold of one of those. Okay, for your step up session, you begin, set the timer, and we start plugging away on the step ups. And make sure you lock your knees out at the top of the movement. That's very important. We want to drive through this heel. We want to engage the glutes, get those working, and step up, lock your knees out on top of the box. Very important. We don't want to be doing step ups here. That's not realistic. It doesn't help us train the full range of the movement, and you're not going to walk like that in the mountains. You want to make this as realistic as possible, as close as it can be to the mountains. If you want to do this on a pile of rocks or a big boulder or something, that's even better. So, plugging away, you can see I'm leading with my right leg here. After 10 or 20 or so, I'll swap so that I'm now leading with the left leg. The key with this session is really to get into a rhythm and to not waste too much time faffing about with your legs. So I will tend to lead with one leg like this one, the left, for 20 reps, maybe 50, whatever I feel like doing. And that means that I'm being efficient. One other tip that I'll give you is that I try and keep to a pace of around 1 step up for 3 seconds. And that's how I've calculated the assumed time for this session, is by just multiplying that step by 3. Now, the ultimate result here that I'll be looking for from you is to do all of the step ups with minimal rest. That would be ideal if you're a super athlete. But I understand that you're a human, and the reason why you're doing this is to improve. So if you want to take a break every 100 step ups or so, that's what I recommend you do. Same thing in the mountains when I'm climbing and things are starting to get a little bit harder and I'm hoofing my way up a steep slope. I'm starting to get tired. What I do is I break down the hill into, say, 30 or 50 steps. I just say, I'm just going to get these 50 steps done, and then I'm going to have a rest. And what that helps me do is compartmentalize and break down the challenge into doable pieces. I say, I'm going to get to that rock before I have a rest, or I'm going to do these 50 steps before I have a rest. And if you do that in your training now, it's going to drastically help you because you're in that habit of doing it in your training, and this is very important. Common problems that I've seen with people when they do this session is that they'll swap every time. I mean, it tends to, you get confused with your legs and end up falling over the box. It's better, I think, to just lead with one leg for 20 or 50 reps. Another thing that I see when people are quite tired when they're doing this session is they'll start like really hunching over and like, puffing away. And what we want to do is stay upright as much as possible. We're going to be working on core in the rest of your program, so that's going to help you stay upright. We're also going to be working on your upper body strength to carry the pack. So hopefully when that strength stuff starts to kick in, we can stand up a little taller in our step ups. So if you catch yourself hunching over, then just try and do your best to stay upright. The other thing is having this hand on the knee. That's cheating, just so you're aware of that. Maybe self-regulate that a little bit. Trekking poles. If you want, you can use trekking poles in this session. That's totally fine. It does make things a little easier, so I would tend to hold off with that stuff until you're actually in the mountains or in the hills doing some training on the weekends for your hike. But go ahead if you want to use trekking poles for this session. That would look weird in the gym though. That would look very strange, but up to you. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do with this session, and I can't wait to see the improvement that you're going to make. So let me know how you do over the coming weeks. Get those step ups done, get sweaty, have a great session. Let me know how you did. Send me a message on my social links. You know how to contact me. Okay guys, once you finish the step ups, you're going to go into your accessory work. It's either going to be stretches, cool down, it's going to be calf work, core work, or lower back work. So don't skip the accessory stuff. Definitely don't skip the cool down. You will regret it if you don't do it because you might end up injuring yourself and it could jeopardize your whole trip seriously. So make sure you warm up and cool down properly. Go get it.